Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I am going to be showing you a tour of one of the first sketchbooks that I've completed in a really long time. This is the Strathmore Mixed Media Sketchbook. I used a lot of watercolor, some gouache, some pen, some colored pencils, a lot of different mediums in here, and I really enjoyed filling this sketchbook. So here we go. I'm going to cover my personal information here. I spent several days on this first page and I really enjoyed it. I even wrote this poem that's about creativity. I'll read it. It says, "An artist writes in pictures, a poet paints in words. Pour out your soul on paper, brushstroke, line, or verse." This next page, usually whenever I set up a sketchbook, I include my goals and ideas somewhere in the sketchbook so that if I am feeling unmotivated or I wonder what I should do, I can come back to this page and get ideas. And as you can see, I have so many ideas. There are more than 50 ideas on this page, and this is only like a 60-page sketchbook, so I did not get to all of them. And then my goals, just to keep me centered and motivated. Number one goal is to grow as an artist, and the most important thing to remember is to enjoy the journey. That's really what it's all about for me. Okay, this is, I called this Rewind. This is a girl walking out of a 90s TV. Maybe she's a time traveler. I would love to be her right now and just step out of the TV in my 90s bedroom with my orange cassette tapes and Super Nintendo. And then these are just some doodles that kind of related to that. I left this blank so it could be any orange VHS tape and any Super Nintendo game. This was just a fun kind of doodle of a landscape scene with a house from Pinterest. And then this was a prompt. These were two different prompt challenges in August for Agostus. And I really like this one. I think it turned out really well. I love how the colors in this spread fit all together. This was just so doodly, really both of them. This is my little mushroom character I draw all the time, and I decided, like, why not make a whole little garden outside of this cute little mushroom house. And then these are just cute little people. I wanted them all to kind of match, and I think it turned out really cute. These are watercolors. This is Daniel Smith watercolors, and I had just gotten the color Opera Pink, and I just loved how bright it was. I was so excited to try it out. This is almost like a children's book illustration or something. I was trying to practice with my Himi Gouache, and I just wanted to fill a spread and do something cute, and I really like how this turned out. I don't think I've ever posted this on Instagram or shared it anywhere, but I really like it. I think it's so cute. I got the Arteza acrylic pastel brush pens, and this whole page was just testing them out. I do really like them. I don't like how this turned out. I was testing how they can blend, and they don't blend very much, so, but that's okay. They still are really opaque, and the colors are just gorgeous. I love them. I just had fun on this page and didn't worry about what it would look like, but that's okay, because that's what it's about. This was when I started getting excited for Halloween, and I decided I wanted to make a spooky themed spread, and I actually did the drawings first, and then I came back like a week later and painted them in with watercolor and gouache. This is gouache, and this is watercolor, and this is watercolor. So this is Frankenstein and the Bride of Frankenstein, of course, and then just some eyes, a brain, a heart. I really like this heart. I actually made a sticker out of this heart. And then I included this quote. It says, "When I looked around, I saw none and heard of none like me. Was I then a monster?" I love that. I just think Frankenstein is a great book. and I really like the movie too, but the book especially, on a different level. It's really great. I don't think I've shared this anywhere either. This is supposed to be a self-portrait. I don't know. It kind of looks like me. This one too, but this one looks less like me. And then I saw this as a reference photo. The dress was red, but I decided to make it blue and add the bird just to kind of tie it all together. And I put a quote from Van Gogh. It says, "I am always doing what I cannot do yet in order to learn how to do it." This was some just gouache sky practice and blending practice. Gouache is a really new medium to me, and so I'm still just like really clunky with it, but I still have a lot of fun with it. And then this is when it's started to feel like fall outside for the first time, and I was so excited. I drew this pumpkin. It's actually gouache, and then I wrote this quote, "Life starts all over again when it gets crisp in the fall." I really enjoyed this spread. I had this idea, and I really like how I filled this page with thumbnails, trying to decide on like what composition and what I wanted, because I had the general idea, but I didn't know exactly what direction I wanted to take it in yet. So this was really great for the development of this. And then this was an ink drawing with just some white pen, and I really liked it. I like the way it turned out, and I really enjoyed the process of just using that ink. This is a study of a still life photo that I found on Pinterest, and I will link my Pinterest for all of the reference photos that I've used. And I spent so many hours on this. I'm not sure why I put so much time into it, but I just loved the deep purple and red colors, and I'm glad I did. I enjoyed the process, and I think I learned a few things when I was doing it. And then after hours of painting this, I'd spent so long, I was actually ready to be done painting, and my son said, "Will you please draw my Halloween costume?" So he's being Scream for Halloween, and I drew his Halloween costume after I spent like 3 or 4 hours on this. So I kind of rushed through it, but it still turned out really cute. This was like the junkiest page in here. I was getting excited for Halloween, and this was like our first Halloween candies that we had, and our pumpkin, and then I just did some doodles. And then I wrote a quote in here from Oscar Wilde. It says, "Some cause happiness wherever they go, some whenever they go." I love that. This is a cat that looks like my cat Smokey, but it was just a pencil drawing from a reference on Pinterest. These are some figure studies. They didn't turn out the best. I actually really like this one. This was for Phantasmical Fridays, which is a weekly draw this in your style on Instagram. I really, really, really love this. This was Holbein acrylic gouache and colored pencils, and I just love her. She's so cute and happy. This was another Phantasmical Friday. I love how it turned out as well. The composition and the drawing was referenced from that Phantasmical Friday prompt, so I'm gonna include that information below. But this was in my style of that, and I loved it. And I layered colored pencil and watercolor, and then also some of those Arteza brush pens for this background and for the pedestal she's sitting on. And I submitted this for Sweet Timber Days on Instagram. It is an academic witch reading a book and making herself a cup of tea or coffee, I guess. And I just was really enjoying in the sketchbook layering or doing sort of mixed media with the acrylic brush pens, the watercolor, and colored pencils. Like, I think I can see throughout the sketchbook that I was really learning and growing into that process. This was like a list of all the October prompts I wanted to do. I did not do all of them. This was a sketch of the Belcher family from Bob's Burgers. The final piece of this was digital art, and I think it turned out really cute. And then I really got kind of into making the back of one page, like the sketch and thumbnail page, and then putting the finished piece on the next page. So there's a cute little kitty holding some sweet treats. He looks like my orange cat a lot. These were some kind of composition sketches for a bigger piece that I started to do, and I did not like how it turned out. It is not in this sketchbook. I think I'll try it again one day. I don't know, I overworked it and it wasn't my favorite. Calcifer and gouache just for some fun. This was another Phantasmical Friday prompt. I love him. He turned out so cute. I was obsessed with that opera pink when I first got it. And I love how the spread is kind of cohesive color-wise. And then this was also a challenge. I can't remember which one. I'm going to put it on the screen. And then more like doing my sketching on one side. This is when October started, I guess. And so I thought about this idea for a long time before I decided to paint it. And I like how it turned out, even though it's really simple. I just made two little like postcard size sort of paintings. And it is mostly the Holbein acrylic gouache, but I also did layer some pencil and maybe some white paint marker as well. But this is like a jack-o'-lantern that was going to eat this little guy, and his mouth was like a cage. And then here he's happy. Obviously he escaped because he's going to eat a giant pumpkin pie now. So the tables have turned. Here is another cute little green witch, and the story behind this is that this little green witch was lonely. So she used her magic to bring all her favorite little plant friends to life, and now they're all best friends. You can see the little ivy that is inspired by my ivy here, and the little sunflower, and my little mushroom character I draw all the time. And then over here was just some sketching, trying to get ideas for it. Bats in ink for Inktober. Over here were my initial sketches just to kind of get ideas of like how they're shaped. And then these, I just really studied those pictures and used several different black pens to kind of build up the values. And I really like how I do the shadow areas in these. That's something I'm trying to work on, is like simplifying shapes when I can, and I feel like I did really well on that in like some of these places. I love this guy. Okay, this is a little frog trick-or-treater dressed up as a wizard. And these were my initial sketches. I am still going to draw this guy too with the umbrella and the rain. I thought that was such a cute idea, but I thought for Halloween, like, this made more sense. But I still love this sketch, like the look in his little face. I love it a lot. Okay, this was another Inktober. The theme for this one was bouquet, and I was like just doing my sketching over here. You can kind of see the process, and I was like, maybe bouquet? No, that doesn't make sense. Maybe in a pumpkin, and I had ideas, and then I was like, oh, I want to do like sort of a fairy with a mushroom bouquet, and then here she is. So that's kind of my whole little thought process, and then I decided pretty quickly what I wanted to do, and I love her. This is another just sketchy page. I actually never turned this into a final drawing, but I think I will because I love her too. Here's like a Medusa, like dark academia Medusa, and here is a werewolf girl. Like, these are just such little sketches, and then these are like thumbnail sketches for this over here. And then this is Hedwig delivering a letter to Hogwarts, of course, and you have like the moonlit like pond outside in the woods, the forbidden forest. Another sketchy page, really nothing special going on here. And then this doodle was so much fun. This is just the Bob's Burgers crew kind of just doodled in my style and watercolored. I just spent a couple hours just really having fun here. I almost never draw outside of my house. So I took my sketchbook to the park and I drew the playground on this one. It's a rare thing for me to do. And then these were practicing for things that are on the next page. I was doing Inktober, the empty prompt. This was my first idea, and I just didn't like how it came together as much. So I did an empty candy bowl instead, which I like a lot more. And here's the empty candy bowl. I just love that still. I did, this was paint pens. Some of the Arteza ones, and then some off-brand ones I got on Amazon. And these are little concept sketches for the switch over here. I'm glad that I decided with this composition. I love this. I probably spent more time on this. This is probably the most time consuming piece in this sketchbook. I probably spent like 5 or 6 hours a day for like 3 or 4 days on it, and just really spent a lot of time here. And I really enjoyed it. I think I learned things. I think every time I take a deep dive into a painting and just kind of live in this painting for hours, I learned so much. And just like, I don't know, the lighting and the shadows, and just like I felt like I lived in here while I was painting this, and I just love how it turned out too. So, and the little indigo kitty cat. I asked my son what color the cat should be, and he said blue. I said, okay. And there he is. This was another Phantasmical Friday. This was a quick one, but I just really love how it turned out. He's like dancing. He's so cute. And then this started out as a sketch of a character from Plants vs. Zombies. This one, because my son was playing Plants vs. Zombies. This is Nightcap. And then this is my mushroom character. I draw a lot. And then I just went doodle crazy with other mushroom people, and I really enjoyed it. They're so cute. This is another Phantasmical Friday. Those are so fun. You should really check it out. I will put that information, like, I think he posts them not only for Halloween, and they are really fun. And then at this point, we are nearing the end of October. I was just feeling so creatively tapped out, and I wanted to do something else. I actually did the drawing on the next page first, and then behind this is a failed sketch that I just really didn't like. And I was feeling creatively depleted, and I decided, you know what? I'm just gonna color something fun. I probably won't show it to anybody. It probably won't turn out well. And I made this little cat-o'-lantern kitty, and I actually love how it turned out. And I think sometimes you just need to let go and not worry about how something is going to turn out, and then it will turn out cute and fun, you know. I wasn't worried about the end result. I was just like, let me just draw something fun. And that was this kitty, and it just kind of really revived me creatively to do that. And then here is my Bewitched Bog. This was for Drawtober, and I actually do love how she turned out. I hated it at first, and I went back into that other drawing because I gave up on this. I wasn't even going to post it or anything. And then I spent like several days with colored pencils after that, just kind of adding different colors and details. And I use such different colors than I normally would, and it's not like something I would normally create, and I love that about it, and I decided I really like it, so here it is. And then this was another prompt for that. It's a Candlelit Coven, and this is just pen and ink, and I really like how it turned out too. It's so simple, but it was really fun to do. I really should do more ink drawings because I enjoy them a lot. And so we're almost to the end. This turned out so bad. This is the worst thing in this whole sketchbook, but here you go. Anyway, this was like what my Halloween costume looked like, and I messed up on the face, and then I kept trying to fix it, and every time it got so much worse. So we'll just put my hand there. And then this is my first Huevember prompt. This was Dogs and Flowers. I will link that below too. Huevember. And so this is a Jack Russell and dandelions, and I only used yellow and gold that turns a little bit brown when it's very saturated, but that's first Huevember. And then here we are at the last page. I did this last night. This is some fabric, some wrinkled fabric, and a peach, and then just some doodles. This turned out kind of strange. I hadn't drawn something like that in a while, but I had a lot of fun with it. And then let me show you, my cat chewed my sketchbook. Actually, top and bottom, if you can see, and on the outside you can see it even more. Oh, and here are my cover and stickers. We have, these are from Jess Carp. This is Little Star Nerd. This is Strange Familiars. And then my son actually helped me with all these other stickers, and I really enjoyed his help. So that is my first finished sketchbook in quite a while. Thank you so much for joining me on this sketchbook tour. Next time, I'm going to be starting a new hardcover Strathmore Mixed Media sketchbook, so I hope that you will join me to fill this one as well. Thank you so much for coming, and I really hope you'll follow me to join me on my creative journey. I'm so excited you're here. Let's make art together. I'll see you next time. Bye.